As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Well, my winners and losers are going to take a Nebraska theme. The winner, I had to go with the Aviva Stadium over there, which, by the way, I wasn't sure what the turnout was going to look like playing a game in Dublin, but it was awesome. That place was packed, at least from the crowd shots that I saw, it looked like it was packed. It was a really good atmosphere. Problem is, they lost internet during the game. It's a cashless stadium, so the beer lines were stopped. Finally, they just said free beer, so they started filling up the cups for free. That got the crowd back on their side, and I did see the cup snake that was about 10 sections long, which was pretty funny.
It was it was a two-level cup snake,
It's
right?
crazy.
Like it
Yeah.
it went up one and then up into like the upper deck. I've never seen a cup snake of that magnitude. That was awesome. It probably was the highlight of the game for a lot of Nebraska fans.
Kind of felt like that took over as the most important thing happening that day.
I, and I saw this from our buddy Mike Golick Jr. on Twitter. I guess one of his buddies was at the game, and I'm not sure if he was joking or not, but he said that one of his buddies there said the concession stand asked people to like write down their name and how many beers they had. I don't know if you talk about the honor system, like there's no way.
Just tallying up. That's great. That's
I
hilarious.
I I couldn't believe that, but I mean maybe the Irish people are like, hey, these Americans are reasonable. They'll
Yeah,
they'll tell us the truth.
maybe that's something that would work over there. That does not work with a bunch of Americans, okay? Maybe that's a sad realization, but yeah, and I don't even know how you would keep track of that, but that's fantastic. Just keep a tally of it. Just like it's like a running tab, right? We'll just jot it, we'll just mark it down.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was happy that because the stadium could have just said no beer. The system's down. They did the right thing. They made the right call.
Yeah, which that that would have been a I guess it already is a disaster, but can you imagine like how like frustrating that has to be for whoever is in charge of like this? There's this huge event going on, and we're going to sell a ton of beer. This is going to be awesome, and then you lose your connection and you just have to give it away for free on the back half of it. That's got to be someone took a beating on that deal.
Yeah, this is the tweet from Golick Jr. Just heard from a friend that beer vendors ask them to write down their name on a piece of paper to come back and pay for their booze after the game. Yeah, that's not happening. No chance.
Wow, that's awesome.
All right, who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Oh, I don't. Nebraska, Frost, Nebraska fans. I mean, you could fill in the blank. Anything Nebraska after that. This is an important season. It was an important game, and I took the bait, thinking that this Nebraska team. I don't know necessarily. I thought that they were going to be like a lot better than they were a year ago, but I thought that there was going to be at least some type of improvement and maybe win some of these one score games that they've been so, I guess you could say unlucky with, but hey, it's how it goes. You got to find a way to win those, but they totally look like a team to me, and I'd love to hear your impression. They just didn't look prepared to play. They lost on the details. They lost on mistakes. They, and even Frost with the onside kick. No reason to make that play right there. So I don't know. It was bad. I can't imagine being a Nebraska fan. We beat Northwestern 56-7 last year, and we weren't very good last year. I'm going to fly halfway around the globe, spend a ton of money doing so, to watch us get beat by Northwestern, that's got to be incredibly frustrating. And frankly, I'm shocked that he hasn't been fired yet.
Well, you shouldn't be shocked because his buyout gets cut in half on October 1st.
So October 2nd or 1st or
So
whatever.
I think they've got a bye week, like the second or third week of October. That's when he's going to get fired.
Okay, gotcha. That makes
But
more sense.
I continue to be baffled by Scott Frost's post-game comments. The fact that he threw his offensive staff under the bus really bothers me, right? What did he say? I think our offensive staff has to learn. You've got to be a little more creative in this league, I believe was the quote. Whatever, man. Whatever. The bottom line is, and you can say that Nebraska lost in the details, and I agree with that, even though Northwestern had way more penalties than Nebraska did. I think Nebraska only had like one penalty in the game.
Well, here's the reason I say that is like a couple of turnovers, not catching catchable passes.
Right.
Like they even got a turnover on like it bailed them out of a horrible play. They're in Bear and Northwestern runs it right at them. Mike Backer's totally cut off. It's pathetic. And it squirts out for like a 25, 30-yard gain, and the Northwestern running back fumbles, and they run off the field. I'm sitting there saying, like, that's terrible defense. That's god awful. There's no way Northwestern should be able to blow you off the football like that.
And that's where the game was decided. Northwestern's offensive line kicked the shit out of Nebraska. You go back, especially in that second half.
Terrible.
And I mean, Northwestern with, and no disrespect to Ryan Helinski, and I thought he played well. I thought he really managed his game well for Northwestern. He was great, but he wasn't pressured like the entire game. I mean, Northwestern offensive line destroyed Nebraska. Northwestern had 528 yards of offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Hull and Porter, the two running backs, combined for like 213 and 2 touchdowns. And that's why Kurt Anderson, the offensive line coach from Northwestern, did you see his tweet after the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't see it, he said, quote, "And to think we only puked 5 times all camp," which is hilarious. And fun fact, Kurt Anderson was the assistant offensive line coach in Buffalo when I was there.
Nice.
Michigan man, he is an offensive lineman through and through. So hitting send on that tweet, I guarantee you felt so good for
That's
Kurt.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, I saw a couple of times, and it's hard to tell on the TV shot, especially whenever you're in the pool with a couple of beverages. But there was some, like, on Nebraska's offensive line, big mistakes in protection, totally turning guys loose off the edge, and Thompson's under all kinds of pressure back there. Their defensive line, they have a defensive end, Nebraska does, that's like 300 plus pounds, just totally guessing on the edge, getting his ass kicked, peeking in, getting cut off. It's just terrible, man. That's what I'm saying. They look totally unprepared to show up and play that game. And it's Northwestern. All due respect, they played well. They had their backs against the wall. Nebraska kind of let them off the hook and opened the door for them, and they did a good job down the stretch. But that is not a good football team. They're just not. They'll be, what, 500 at best this year? And I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I thought we would see a Nebraska team with way more fight, way more prepared to win, way more prepared to play. It did not look disciplined. It did not look detailed, did not look tough, did not look physical. Not good.
Yeah. And I felt bad for Casey Thompson, right? Especially like it started so well for him. Like he just came out slinging that thing. And then a few mistakes here, a few mistakes there. Like obviously the picks were massive in the football game. But yeah, man.
Those are 2 catchable balls, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Catch the ball. They're not perfect, but you gotta make that play. It's just, I don't know, man. The one was tipped, and the other one, I thought the guy totally gave up on the route.
He just stopped.
Yeah, it was bad. I don't know, man. They was like check. They couldn't even throw a check down. Like the running back is not running the check down right. Poor Casey Thompson back there's like, what the hell are you guys doing? I don't know. It was frustrating to watch. And here's the thing, though. I'm not saying that Oklahoma, we should be a vastly superior team to Nebraska whenever we go play them. But they will be way better than that whenever we show up.
Yeah, you do. If you're an OU fan, do not expect to see that version of Nebraska here in a couple of weeks in Lincoln, because they're going to play as well as they can possibly play. That's just how it works.
Yep.
That's how it works. But Scott Frost moves to 5-21 in one-score games at Nebraska, which truly is, I mean, it kind of just defies statistics when it comes to randomness and luck and all those things. It's incredible, man.
Yeah. Well, and special teams has been an issue for them. Last year against Illinois in their week 0 game, what did they get an extra point blocked that got returned, or something crazy happened in that game?
They figured out every way to lose last year. And I'll say this, as far as, and Scott Frost, he took responsibility for the onside kick, but Northwestern is not the team to try it against. It's just not like it's not. I know that sounds stupid, but it's like. And by the way, Pat Fitzgerald's a hell of a football coach. I think everyone knows that already. But hell of a win for the Wildcats, and they deserve their credit. But I don't know. When I think Northwestern, I think very detailed on special teams. I'm not trying one of those against them.
Yeah,
that's just me though.
Yeah, and the surprise. So the reason that is a good onside kick, or it used to be a good onside kick, is because the front line guys on kickoff return are under an incredible amount of stress. They have to see the ball kicked, possibly go recover it on a short bouncer like that, that guy made it look easy. It is not easy to do that. Or you have to haul ass backwards and then block like a safety or a linebacker that's running full speed, trying to cross your face. It's really hard to do. But in this day and age, whenever there's a far less likelihood of a return, like your guy's going to fair catch it on the back end, there's not nearly as much stress to get back. So you can wait a little bit longer on the front line. And I don't know. It was a bad call. It's one of those that I don't even think it's a hindsight. It's just you didn't need to. You had just scored a touchdown. You looked like you were the better team and ready to maybe walk away with the thing, and it let them right back in.
Yeah. Blew a couple double-digit leads.
No big deal.
They'll always have the free beer, man.
Always have the free beer. Yep.
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you are a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage single malt whiskey. It was voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year round. Remember in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners, they're from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the weekend, I thought about going with Jim Harbaugh because a lot of coaches say they have two starters publicly, but you usually name a starter. Well, in only Harbaugh fashion, he has taken things to another level. He has announced that Cade McNamara will start their opener, and then J.J. McCarthy will start their second game. Then they'll make the decision. And it's goofy because it's coming from Harbaugh, and it just seems like everything about the guy is just weird. But, Ted, I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it, man. I kind of like, hey, you two, go prove it. I'll make the decision after I see you each start a game.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems it's very strange. And it's hard to believe that through all of this, you still don't know who the better quarterback is. And at what point are you stunting whoever it is by taking the start away from them in the season, you know? But
Yeah.
hey, Harbaugh's been a dude that doesn't care about any of that. He marches to the beat of his own drum, that's for sure.
Yeah. So interesting to see how that Michigan quarterback situation ends up playing out. I also thought about going with Max Verstappen. Formula One is back. Summer break is over. And despite starting in 14th, Verstappen just completely dominant at the Belgian Grand Prix. Won by 18 seconds. Why are you making that face?
He started in 14th and won by 18 seconds.
Correct. He was very complimentary of the car after the race.
Well, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, it was.
That's embarrassing for the rest of the field.
It was quite boring to watch. I watched it anyways. I mean, what else was I going to do on a Sunday morning? But yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Dang, that's wow. Hats off to Verstappen and crew.
Yeah, but my winner of the weekend, and this, I assume this is going to be, I think this is the first time and it may be the last time, Vanderbilt football. Because I poked fun at Clark Lee when he said, Vandy, we all knew they were going to be the best program in the country eventually. I still don't believe that. But that journey started this weekend with Vanderbilt going to the island and smacking Hawaii 63-10. And you may be saying to yourself, well, what's the big deal? They went and beat Hawaii. I cannot stress enough. Vanderbilt in their season opener last year got beat at home by East Tennessee State.
Whew.
So this is a big deal for Clark Lee. It's a big deal for Vandy alums. It's a big deal for the players on that team. Had a couple of defensive touchdowns, and they have a quarterback to be excited about, man. Mike Wright, I really don't know how well he throws it, but that dude's got wheels. He can run, and he had some electric plays in that game. I was up late on Saturday night watching it going, okay, I mean, not too bad. Now, Hawaii's one of the worst teams in the country. They may be the worst team in the country. If Wright can become a little more of a polished of a passer, it'll be interesting. Now, I think they're still going to get housed in SEC play, but it's kind of similar to how I felt about Kansas last year, where you could see the improvement, right? It may not result in a ton of wins, but it feels like the improvement is taking place at Vanderbilt under Clark Lee. And maybe that makes that new V logo a little more tolerable to the fan base, knowing that they're getting a little better, because that V, it's off, man. It is off.
Yeah. And this is good news, because for a little bit, I was worried that maybe he had somehow switched dimensions to where maybe there's a parallel dimension somewhere where Vanderbilt is actually like close to one of the best programs in the
He
country.
he's in the upside down like in Stranger Things.
Yeah, there was like somehow he crossed this barrier and just didn't know where they were. But this is a move in the right direction for Vanderbilt. I like it.
Yeah, it was interesting. I once again, they're not going to do any damage in the SEC, but it it was fun watching those guys, and they got down early. Like Hawaii goes right down the field and scores, and you're like, uh oh, here we go again with Vandy, and they bounce back and they beat the absolute hell out of a Division I team on the road. So it was a step in the right direction for Vanderbilt, and that is probably the last time for a long time where we talk about Vanderbilt football. So there you go. All right, for my loser of the weekend, please tell me you saw the Ravens mascot situation.
No.
Oh man. Okay. So the Ravens mascot is a raven named Poe. And they were doing a little thing where, you're playing some football at halftime with kids, right? Entertainment, halftime entertainment. And one of the kids kind of rolled him up, Ted, and I think Poe tore his ACL. And
Oh,
and I really respect whoever is the mascot. They kept the head on the entire time. Like getting put on the cart still kept the mascot head on. And just it I felt for him, but I do appreciate someone that is that dedicated to the craft. And I hope Poe makes a full recovery because that dude blew his knee out for sure.
oh man, I'm seeing the video of them loading him on the cart. Oh, okay, here's the video. Oh yeah. Huh. What is he playing quarterback? He got sacked there off
Little
the
little
edge.
gator roll.
Oh no, that's brutal. I hate that for him right there in front of everyone, but at least not very many people know the true identity. It's just, you hide under that mask. That's
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah. All right. I also thought about going with the Seattle Seahawks because Pete Carroll announced that Geno Smith's going to be their starting quarterback. And he was in a battle with Drew Lock. Drew Lock didn't play particularly well in the preseason when he got to play. Remember, he had COVID at one point. He did Drew Lock things, right? But remember, they could have gotten Baker Mayfield. I mean, it was out there.
Yeah.
They could have gone and gotten Baker Mayfield. And now they're stuck with Geno Smith. And maybe that's the way they want it. Maybe they are, kind of low key tanking to try to get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, someone in this next draft, right, to be at the top of the draft. But they could have easily gone and gotten Baker, and they would have been much more competitive in the NFC West this season than they're going to be with Geno Smith. So it's going to be a long season for the Seahawks, and they kind of did it to themselves, man.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested to see how Geno Smith operates. It's been a while since he's had a chance. It feels like kind of the last thing we heard about Geno Smith was the fight in the locker room when he got his jaw broke, and been pretty quiet for him ever since that. Interesting opportunity. Got some talent to throw to. I mean, that's the thing is you got some dudes to throw to out there. But all of that being said, am I crazy for thinking that I like the Carolina situation better for Baker?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just kind of criticizing the Seahawks
Oh yeah, yeah,
because it seems like they could have made that move. Because remember, the Panthers were waiting and waiting, and now, hey, by the way, the Panthers quarterback situation. Did you see that Darnold went down?
yeah, yep.
So Corral
All of a
down,
sudden,
Darnold
really
down.
thin. Yeah,
Yeah. So stay healthy, Baker. They need to wrap him up in bubble wrap.
no
But
doubt.
yeah, just Geno Smith should not be a starter at this point in the NFL, in my opinion. So it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah. You
At least
played
that
against him in
division isn't
2012
talented.
out in West Virginia. Great game.
Was a great game. We won. Never seen him more. It's just the weirdest locker room ever after that game.
I
Like all
remember.
the offensive guys celebrating, all the defensive guys looked like they were crying. It was so weird.
It was the same. It was the exact same as the whatever year that Texas Tech game was.
Oh, the Mahomes
Yeah.
Mayfield game.
Was that
Ooh,
16, 2016?
yeah.
It had the exact same feel as that one.
Yeah. All right, but my loser of the week, and I know this is some really sensitive stuff, but I think it's important. It's important to talk about, and I know a lot of kids listen, but the Buffalo Bills are my loser of the week. The Matt Araiza situation, and I don't want to go into all the details of it because very graphic, disturbing stuff. I guess I'll say if he, and I know he's come out and denied it, and he's looking forward to say, he wants to clear his name, all that, but if he did the stuff he's accused of doing, he should go to prison for a very long time. Now, the most important thing in this situation is that justice is served. That I'll leave it at that. But when you look at it just from the Bills' perspective, it's really confusing for me, and that's why they're my loser of the weekend, because it's a little unclear what the Bills leadership knew and when they knew it. I don't think they knew any of this stuff when they drafted him, but they knew about this stuff on Monday when they chose Araiza over Matt Hawk, right? They cut, and Hawk was their punter last year, and they cut him on Monday. Ted, I just don't understand when you have this information, it's a punter. It's not a star quarterback. It's a punter, man. And I know he had the 80 whatever yard punt. I get it. But this is a franchise that's been doing everything right for these last couple of years. They've really been building under Brandon Beede, the GM, and under Sean McDermott, the head coach. I mean, Josh Allen is an absolute star at quarterback. A lot of people view them as the favorite to come out of the AFC. Like, a lot of people picking them to go to the Super Bowl. And now you create this situation where this is going to be a story for your franchise all season long. Like, this is going to hang over the Buffalo Bills like a really dark cloud. And it's over a punter, man. I just don't. And once again, the most important thing is that if that stuff happened to that woman, that justice is served. I want to make that clear. But just from a football perspective, on the scale of, what you'll put up with, and like the player, like punter, why? I'm dumbfounded by it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, there's the right thing to do, period. And I don't know all of the details of this thing, so it's hard to say, like just to.
Yeah, and you're gonna have the people, hey, innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
In the justice system, like, the legal process is going to run its course. Like, Matt Araiza is going to get his due process. That's how this thing works. But when you just
a quick little cost benefit,
exactly
with the punter, is like, hey, we've heard his side of the story. What he's saying seems legit. It's a bad situation, but we tend to believe what he's saying. But is it worth it for us to keep him on our roster, not knowing the full extent of what's going on here? The answer is clearly no. Clearly no. Right? It's strange, but hey.
I'm just imagining, and Brandon Beane's got an awesome reputation as a general manager. And I'm just imagining, like, you become aware of this information. You've got to cut someone between the punters. And I know maybe Hawk wasn't great for him last year. I get that. But I just don't know how you look at that situation and you're like, no, we're going to keep Araiza. Yeah, we'll handle that. Like, that blows my mind, man. It's the punter.
Right. Well, here's an interesting thing, and I don't know the answer to this, but is there like maybe a liability, or I don't know what I'm trying to say here. If you cut a guy and he turns out to be totally innocent, like, what are you exposing yourself to?
Well, they cut him. So,
yeah, but it looks bad whenever you do it after you get the blowback.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and maybe they got some more information and everything, and it sounds like maybe they did, but I don't know. I just don't know when faced with that choice.
Right.
Like, hey, we got everything going for us as an organization. Let's risk the reputation and create this huge distraction over a punter. Like,
I know. It's the like I said, the quick little cost benefit is like he's a punter, we'll cut him. He'll be on the open market. If there's an opportunity to where he's proven to be innocent, like this thing didn't happen, guess what we can do? We can pick him up. You know?
Yeah. No,
Wild. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure that's something that is it's going to drag out for a while, but yeah, it just that whole thing, just that situation is ugh, awful.
Yeah.
All right,